Yeah, the American Cheese Society for myself and for our family goes back quite a few years as being one of the first California farmstead cheesemakers. Um, it was a really neat experience for me. I was a teenager. I think the first ACS that I went to, a lot smaller back then. We're talking 20 years ago. The amount of cheeses that were in the competition, the amount of cheesemakers. It was a very, very small world back then. It's evolved, it's grown, it's a great thing to see all the different American cheeses and how the United States really has evolved into a extremely high quality cheese making country. And for us, it's just great to see all of our friends in the cheese business across the country. We get to see our California cheesemakers fairly often, but we've got friends in Vermont and Wisconsin, and it's great to see everybody, and it's a nice party as well. Everyone has a really good time. We get together, we root for each other, and it's nice to see which cheeses win the competition. There's really there's no losers in the competition because the judges give you great feedback, ways that you can improve your product. There's different sessions, really good high quality speakers that help educate everybody. That's the one thing about the American Cheese Society and just cheesemakers in the country as a whole is we're a great resource for each other and everyone's willing to help each other out. So it's a really, really good atmosphere, really fun, a lot of information being shared and great people to be around.
When I first attended my first ACS, what I really loved about it is like lunchtime. There's all these just tables. People just sit down. It's a buffet, and you never know who you're going to sit next to. And my first experience, I sat down at a table, and there were some people talking about having some trouble drying off their sheep. And I was sitting there thinking, well, I don't know, probably, I know they're woolly and all of that, but they probably just need some, industrial dryers. Not really thinking about that, the end of lactation cycle. So, we do have generally some interesting stories. You have a story to share about one of the conversations or people that you've met at the ACS?
The Giacomini family, being our neighbors here in California, they're over in Petaluma along the coast, and we're more inland in the Central Valley. But I can remember I was pretty young, and Len took me under her wing a little bit. The first ACS that I had attended, and we went out to dinner with with my parents and with her and Bob. And I can just remember, the stories that my dad and Bob were sharing across the table, just how they'd known each other, and our families had known each other for generations and very similar beginnings, starting out as traditional dairy farmers that sell their milk to a creamery that takes ownership of the product and then markets it, and how we transition, both of us and very similar timelines of when we started making cheese. It was just really neat to see, two different generations at the same table with such a similar story. And now we're in very similar places as well as we've grown our businesses, but it really just lends to the, the story of how welcoming and friendly everybody in the artisan cheese business really is.
I've always, appreciated the fact that it doesn't matter whether or not you make cheese next to somebody or across the country. Everybody's friendly about it. Everybody tries to help each other. The camaraderie that is a part of it to bring it together is really cool. And the awards ceremony, like you said, there's no losers out there, and everybody's cheering for everybody else. You know, you do have the portions where you have the California flags and you have the Wisconsin flags and all that. So when somebody from the state wins, you know, they cheer, but it's all done in a wonderful type of arena. So, and you've also participated in helping out the American Cheese Society Certified Cheese Professionals. You've done some work in helping them as well, correct?
Yeah, you know, obviously a big part of the ACS conference is the individuals that are going to launch into taking the Certified Cheese Professional exam. And I have been a part of some of the workshops, if that's what you want to call it, or training programs where, you know, I get up and I talk about maybe a specific topic, whether it be, you know, the breeds of animals or the butter fat or the protein composition in milk, raw versus pasteurized, aged versus unaged, all the different topics that encompass that test. I've been happy to share some information. It's kind of funny, you know, you go into a room 24, 48 hours before people are going to take an exam, and some people are really nervous trying to cram, get those last minute questions answered and remember some of the things. But, you know, overall, even that's such a good environment where, you know, everyone in the class is rooting for each other. They all want to pass. It's going to help them in their development, in their career. And it's, you know, it's a pretty prestigious thing to say that you've passed that exam and you've gone through all the hard work of studying to do it. I tip my hat to all those people who have passed it. I haven't mustered the courage to take the exam myself, but maybe one day I will.
You know, it's a monster. You know, I mean, even though that you have a huge advantage in many of the areas, I think that there isn't anyone that has broad enough experience where, you know, you know everything about cheese making animals and regulatory information, all those things, but you've never worked in a cheese shop. So your diversity of the different cheeses may be, you know, so you may not know about all the different things that are out there and all the PDO cheeses. So, you know, everybody has an area in which they need to work on it. And your expertise has brought some areas that cheesemongers wouldn't be able to know because they're not on the farm every day. Or like you grew up on the farm. And so there's a lot of inherent things that you're able to bring. And that was I always enjoyed having you on one of the panels there.